Well, I was hoping to do a little panning down on the creek, and that creek is way too high. You can't even get near the thing. You can probably hear it in the background, and I'm a quarter of a mile away from it. Well, being I got a bad case of cabin fever, I'm not going back to the house, so I figured I'd come on up the hill a little further. As you can tell here that they've worked this area pretty hard up here. So I thought, well, this would be a good opportunity to do a little metal detecting, see what they were looking for. I'm sure it was gold, so hopefully we can turn up some gold. If not, maybe some treasures, but even if we find nothing, it's better than going back home. It's a beautiful day, first free weekend I've had in quite a while. So I figured, what the heck, let's go up and do some metal detecting. So I'm going to grab the detector and let's get going. Okay, now this area right here, they've worked these ridges down towards the creek, and they've cut some serious trenches through the bedrock. So what we're going to do is we're going to head on down, and we're going to try to work the top of the ridge between the trenches, and then we'll drop back and go down into the trench in the spots we can. It's pretty overgrown, but the spots we can get in there, we're going to go down there and see if we can metal detect the bottom of the trench, see if they were using those as sluices. So let's head on down, and it's pretty steep country in here. Well, this area right here is pretty interesting. This is a great big old channel wash boulder. There's several of them in here. They're stacked all over the place. There's some huge boulders in here. This would be a really good spot to look, except the one thing that bothers me is this is bedrock right here. And where you have the bedrock and the boulders coming together, I don't see any old gravel. I just see them boulders, dirt, and gravel spread out here and there, which makes me believe that these boulders have been dug and worked already, and the hillside just caved over them, and we're just looking at the dirt. They've already worked this area, and this is kind of like a tailings pile. So you don't really know until you check, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little detecting. I've got my doubts, but what the heck, we're here, we'll look. Well, as I suspected, we didn't get any readings here. Got a few readings, but they were just hot rocks. So we're going to go ahead and keep working on down and see what else we can come across. Okay, I just came across this here. This is a chunk of the same old channel we've been looking at, except this they didn't mine. And I wanted to show you this, how it's different from the other one. You can actually tell how the rocks are stacked in here, and we have gravel, we have sand, small rocks, all kind of layered in here. So, you know, this has never been dug. As opposed to the spot we were looking at a little earlier, you could tell that they'd worked that area. Now, my guess is they didn't work this because they weren't finding any gold in it. We're going to take the detector and take a look-see just to make sure, but I kind of doubt if we're going to find anything in here. We're going to take a quick look, and then we're going to head on down the hill where this area drained, and hopefully we can find something down there. Well, that went pretty much as expected. Never got a target. Okay, well, right now we're going to head on down this gully and just see what we can turn up. Well, located a couple of square nails, and then I noticed this flat spot here, and it's not real big, but it's definitely big enough to camp on. So I thought, well, heck, might as well give it a good look-see. Nothing else, it feels really good to stand on flat ground for a bit. So let's do a little detect around here and see what we can turn up. Well, that sounds like a large iron object. Let's take a look, see what we got. Now when you're checking a hole like this, you want to go real careful because you want to get an idea on the surface of what's here. You may turn up some broken glass or bottle, who knows. So while you're checking for your target, you want to kind of take your time, check an area much larger than the target, and see if you turn anything up. If this was in fact a camp, there should be a little bit of trash on the surface, or this may be a random piece of junk they dropped when walking by. Well, it's still down there. Problem I got is I got a little pine tree right here where the target is, and I really don't want to dig that tree up. So we'll kind of see if we can work around it. And there we have our target. Part of looks like a hunk of a barrel loop. Alright, well, better than nothing, so let's bare a hole up and put a little more dirt around this tree so we don't hurt that tree any, and get back to work. Okay, well, we have a little bit more we can check, so let's take a look and see what we got. Well, it sounds like we have another chunk of that barrel loop. Yeah, it's close enough that probably another chunk of barrel loop. But same as before, we want to just kind of Scrape the ground off. I'm not seeing a whole lot of trash here. Let me check that again. I'm having my doubts about this being a camping site. Oh, looks like we moved it. Oh, geez. Dug it up. Well, that's pretty cool. An old shotgun shell. I don't know if that camera's focusing on that. That's an old brass shotgun shell. Yeah, my eyes aren't good enough to read it, but we'll check that out when we get home. But that's pretty cool. That must have been laying right on the surface. Well, that was worth a trip down here. I've found a few of these over the years. First one I found up in this country. This kind of gives us an idea of the date. I'm not sure exactly when they started making the brass shotgun shells, but I know it was mid to late 1870s. So, you know, 1880s, I'm guessing that that's when they were in here, according to this. Well, I'm a little more enthused now. Throw this in the bag and let's do a little more detecting. Well, this place is, those 2 targets. I've found 1 square nail since then, and other than that, I'm not doing so well here. So we're going to kind of, this goes fairly level right on around the corner here, so we're just going to kind of walk down the path here, metal detector way around the corner and drop into that gully, take a look in there. Okay. I have no idea what this is. Some type of pair of pliers. Looks like they broke off right there. Almost looks like it's got a little hammer head on it right there. I'm not really sure what those were used for, but it's obviously they broke them and threw them away. Okay, well, we'll just keep on looking, throw them in the bag. Well, I've been pretty much crawling for the last hour and a half. It is really brushy in here. It finally opened up big enough to set the camera up, and it's not a real big spot here. What we're going to do, we haven't been finding anything but square nails and 22 bullets. So right here, this is a big mound of boulders that the old timers piled up, and just off in there is a big old gully that they dug out. And just downhill, I don't know, probably 100 yards or so is the creek. So what we're going to do is we're going to head on down into that gully. It's pretty brushy down there, but we need to take a look. And we'll see if we can turn up anything there. We'll probably end up down at the creek, which won't hurt my feelings one bit, because maybe we can do a little bit of panning. I'd sure like to take something home other than 22 bullets and square nails. Okay, well, I'm going to pack up and head on down and see if we can locate. Well, you can see behind me, we made it to the creek. That gully they dug that gully hard, but it is so brushy, I can't even swing the metal detector in there. But they did a lot of digging in there, and we're basically standing on their tailing piles here. Now, there is sections in here of exposed bedrock, and I'm getting a lot of targets, and they're most likely nails and stuff that from their digging. But I'm going to go ahead and dig some of these targets up along with the gravel, and we'll take them down to the river, do some panning, and just see what we're finding in here. Well, we ran a few pans, just went around and dug out what little crevices I could find. There's not a whole lot of crevices here, and the ones that are here are quite a ways up on the bank. But the amount of black sand that's in this area is really quite amazing. We did find a little bit of gold. I'll show you that here in a second. But what I wanted to show you was this black sand. There's so much of it that you can actually see it on the surface. Let me grab that camera and I'll show you that. Okay, I don't know how well this is showing it, but you can see that there's black sand. Big pocket right here. It comes up there, runs all along there. Right there would be the edge of it. It just, there's pockets of it all over in here. And you can't hardly do a pan because there's so much black sand. Okay, let's get a close-up of this pan here so I can show you not much, but we did find some gold. Okay, see if we can get a close-up shot of our gold here. You can see right through here. We got quite a few pieces. Nothing of any real size though, but still, we're going home with gold. Okay, well it's getting late and I'm getting beat, and first trip out this year is kind of rough on the old guy, so I'm going to pack everything up, and we're going to try to take a different route back to the truck. We got quite a hike ahead of us, but I want to look at some new country and see if we can, if I locate anything that's worthwhile, I'll fire the camera back up and let you in on it. Okay, let's head to the truck. Well, I made it back to the truck. I tell you what. Started out cold this morning. I was driving through puddles with ice on it coming in, and now it's really nice out here right now. I'll tell you what though, that sitting around all winter not doing anything is I'm paying the price for it right now. This old boy's out of shape. Now on the hike back up, once I got close to the road, I started picking up targets, and so I uncovered a few of them, and they turned out to be old beer cans. Not real old, I'm guessing from the 50s, 60s. But get a little closer here. But when I get home, I'll clean them up and see what they look like. Not worth anything, but they're still kind of cool. Well, back home now. It's like I've been home for 2 days now, because it took me a day to get those beer cans cleaned up, and it took me a couple of days to get caught up and get a chance to clean that gold up. I'll show you that here in a second. First thing I wanted to show you was these beer cans. They actually cleaned up pretty nice for the condition they were in. We got our other assorted treasures here too. We have our 22 bullets, our nails, our shotgun shell, and pliers that I still haven't figured out what they are, or what they were. Now let me show you the gold here. Here's our gold, and to show you how small this stuff is, there's a pencil. That is some pretty small gold. Now, I'm going to attempt to weigh this. Okay, we got our scale zeroed out, and let's dump all our gold in here. 0.09 grams. Well, I'm kind of impressed. There's enough there to weigh. All right. Well, with spring finally getting here, hopefully it's getting here. We're supposed to have rain again in a couple of days, but you know, the weather's got to break sooner or later. Now hopefully we can get out and do this a little more often. You know, the snow's got us held down to the lower elevations right now. But you can bet I'm going to be chasing that snow right on up the hill. I love them high Sierras, and I can't wait to get back in them old mining camps, see if we can find some old bottles, and hey, if I can't get gold out of the river, I just soon find it in the form of an old coin. Now, the river, we're not going to be able to get in it, I'm guessing, for at least a month, bare minimum, because it's flowing strong right now, and I can look right up the hill and see snow. So we're going to have quite a bit of runoff. Until then, though, we still got plenty of stuff we can metal detect as long as the weather holds. So if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you'll get notification when I put out another video, and hopefully I can put out a few more if I can get outside and do something. So till then, you have a wonderful day. This up here where you can hopefully see it. Fine gold hole in there. Can't wait to get back up in the high Sierras, getting into some of them old